Everything you know about Ontario real estate says this video shouldn't exist. This is the province of $1.5 million bungalows in Toronto's suburbs, where a semi-detached fixer-upper can cost more than most Canadians earn in 10 years. And yet, scattered across southwestern and northern Ontario right now are real, livable homes, some of them already set up as rentals, some of them already labeled by their own listing agents as investment properties, and almost nobody is buying them. Today I'll show you 5 of them, from the most expensive all the way down to the cheapest. And with every single one, you'll see exactly why a home this cheap exists in Ontario at all, why it's still sitting there, and what it could actually earn you as a landlord. If you love finding hidden deals like these, hit that subscribe button. I uncover them every week. And stay till the end, because the last one isn't just the cheapest house in this video. It's a former duplex with 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms in a historic mining town, and it's listed for under $90,000. Number 1. Sarnia. This one wins on flexibility before anything else. A charming 1.5-story home with 2 bedrooms upstairs, plus a main floor space the listing itself flags as potential for a 3rd bedroom. Ideal for a home office today and an income room later. 1.5 bathrooms, a functional layout, and a finished basement recreation room that adds real usable square footage without adding a mortgage payment. The lot includes a single driveway and a fenced yard. Modest but tidy. Built in 1925, this is an older home, but the bones are the kind that first-time buyers, downsizers, and investors all circle for the same reason: low entry cost with room to add a bedroom and raise the rent later. So why has it been sitting for 87 days on the market? Because Sarnia is Chemical Valley, a city built almost entirely around one of Canada's largest petrochemical complexes, and the population tells you the industry has plateaued. It grew from 71,594 people in 2016 to just 72,047 in 2021. A gain of only 453 people in 5 years despite the refineries running the entire time. Automation and consolidation have quietly capped the job growth that used to pull new residents into town, and a capped population means a rental market that grows slowly. Not a bad thing for cash flow, but not the kind of story that gets buyers competing for a listing either. And the price for the 2-bedroom, the flexible 3rd bedroom potential, and the finished basement, $275,000. In Ontario, and it's still sitting there. If a slow-growth refinery town doesn't excite you, the next property is in a city of nearly 230,000 people that's growing fast, and the listing tells you exactly who to rent it to. Number 2. Windsor. The listing description doesn't bother with charm, it just says it plainly. Great moneymaker, university rental, 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big kitchen, brand new roof, private drive, maintenance-free. That's not a description written for a family buyer. That's a description written for a landlord, and it's telling you the truth about what this house already is. 5 bedrooms across 2 levels means 5 potential rent checks under one roof, and a brand new roof means one of the biggest capital expenses a landlord ever faces has already been handled by someone else. The location is close to shopping, the waterfront, and bus routes, exactly the checklist a student tenant actually cares about. Windsor itself sits directly across the river from Detroit, and while it's often described as the city in Detroit's shadow, the numbers say otherwise. Population grew from 217,188 people in 2016 to 229,660 in 2021, a gain of over 12,000 people in 5 years, even through multiple auto plant closures and retoolings. That's a city absorbing new residents faster than it's losing industrial jobs, which is exactly the kind of tenant demand a 5-bedroom rental wants underneath it. So why is a self-described moneymaker still on the market? Because 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom student rentals scare off traditional owner-occupier buyers even when the numbers work. And that narrows the buyer pool down to investors who actually run the math. Property taxes weren't listed, but with a listing this direct about its purpose, that math is exactly the homework worth doing first. And the price for the 5 bedrooms, the new roof, and the built-in tenant pool near the University of Windsor, $269,900, still sitting after 29 days in a growing city of 230,000 people. The next property doesn't just have rental potential, it's already split into two separate homes with its own separate hydrometers to prove it. Number 3. Blenheim. Most properties in this video need renovation to become a rental. This one has been one for who knows how long already. Currently set up as a duplex with separate hydrometers for each side, this 1.5-story home splits into two genuinely livable units. One side offers a mudroom, a kitchen with ample cabinetry, a spacious living room, a 4-piece bathroom, and 3 bedrooms upstairs, plus its own driveway and storage shed. The other side has an eat-in kitchen, its own living room, 1 bedroom, a 4-piece bath, and a double-car concrete driveway. That's 2 full households under one roof, sold in as-is condition at the request of the estate, which is exactly the kind of situation that produces a discount before anyone even asks about the town. One detail worth flagging for due diligence, Geo Warehouse lists this as a semi-detached under one owner, but municipal records aren't fully conclusive, so verifying the legal status of that duplex split is the first call to make, not the last. Blenheim itself is a farming town of under 4,500 people, built on tobacco and now diversified into greenhouse and specialty crops, with a population that dipped and only recently recovered, sitting at 4,487 in 2021 against a historic peak of nearly 4,800. Over a quarter of the town is now 65 or older, which shapes exactly who's likely renting that second unit: retirees and downsizers rather than young families chasing school catchments. So why is a working income-producing duplex still sitting unsold? Because as-is estate sales with unclear legal status make lenders and cautious buyers nervous, even when the property is already functioning exactly the way an investor wants it to. Property taxes run about $1,280 a year, low enough that even splitting rent modestly covers the carrying cost easily. And the price for 2 functioning units, separate meters, and 2 driveways, $249,900. After only 7 days on the market, and it's already worth watching closely. The next property trades the duplex hustle for something calmer, a fully updated bungalow with almost nothing left to fix, in the same city as our first stop. Number 4. Sarnia. This is the version of Sarnia real estate that requires no imagination at all. A bright bungalow with 2 generously sized bedrooms and 2 beautifully updated bathrooms, including a private ensuite. A crisp white kitchen, a cozy gas fireplace, and a sun-filled sunroom that stretches the living space through every season. Freshly painted throughout with a roof that was just replaced in April of 2026, meaning the 2 most expensive maintenance items a landlord ever budgets for, the kitchen and the roof, are already off the table for years. A covered back porch overlooks green space, and there's a storage shed and a double driveway for good measure. Here's the detail that changes the entire investment calculation on this one. This home sits on leased land with a monthly maintenance fee of $984 that covers the land lease, property taxes, and park maintenance combined. That's not a small number, and it's the real reason this listing has sat for 100 days despite looking close to perfect in every photo. A landlord running the numbers here isn't just comparing a mortgage payment to expected rent, they're stacking that mortgage payment on top of a fixed monthly fee before a single dollar of rent even shows up. And that math simply doesn't pencil out for every investor the way a freehold lot does. It's the same slow-growth Sarnia population story as our first stop, a city gaining residents at barely 0.5% every 5 years, so this isn't a demand problem, it's a structural one. And the price for the updated bungalow, the new roof, and the sunroom, $229,900, land lease fee included every single month after you move in. And now, the property that breaks the pattern completely. 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a detached garage, and a price that belongs in a different country, in a town with actual gold mining history running under its own main street. Number 5. Kirkland Lake. This is the property with the biggest gap between what it offers and what it costs anywhere else in this video. A former duplex, still holding every bit of that layout's potential. The main level offers 3 spacious bedrooms, a 2-piece ensuite, a full kitchen, and a 4-piece bathroom. Upstairs, another 3 bedrooms and a second 4-piece bathroom, laid out for exactly what the listing calls it: dual family living or a rental setup. That's 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms across 2,000 to 2,500 square feet, plus a detached garage in the backyard. The listing is upfront that the property needs renovation work, and it's sold with furniture included, which tells you a story about how this one came onto the market. This is not a polished flip. This is a structure with real bones and a real floor plan for 2 separate incomes, priced for someone willing to do the work first and collect the rent after. So why is a 6-bedroom, 3-bathroom property with this much rental structure already built in sitting this cheap? Because Kirkland Lake's population has been in decline for decades. It peaked at 12,219 people back in 1981, when the gold mines that built this town were still running at full strength, and it's fallen to just 7,750 in 2021, a drop of over a third since the mining era ended. The town's most famous landmark is literally called the Mile of Gold, the stretch of Main Street where ore was found directly beneath the road, and today that same town survives on its hospital and its schools rather than its mines. For a landlord, that's the entire underwriting question on this property. Not whether 6 bedrooms can find tenants, but whether a shrinking population of 7,700 people keeps enough renters in town long-term to fill both halves of this duplex year after year. Property taxes run about $1,955 a year, a manageable number relative to the sheer bedroom count on offer. And the price for the 6 bedrooms, the 3 bathrooms, the detached garage, and the built-in dual income layout, $89,000. In Ontario, for a property this size, under $90,000. And after 72 days, still nobody has bought it. 5 homes, 5 towns, and the same pattern running underneath every single one. The house is rarely the problem. It's the population line behind it that decides whether a buyer shows up, whether it's a refinery town barely growing, a university city absorbing new residents fast, a farm town aging in place, a land lease community with a hidden monthly cost, or a former mining town that's been shrinking since the gold ran thin. That's really what this whole video comes down to. There are 2 versions of Ontario real estate, the one everyone is bidding against each other for around Toronto, and the one sitting quietly in towns most investors never bother to search for. For a landlord willing to underwrite population risk and legal status instead of running from it, that's not a warning. That's where the yield is. So tell me in the comments, which one of these 5 would you actually buy and rent out? Subscribe for more overlooked rental opportunities like these every week. And remember, prices, rents, and legal unit status change fast. So verify every listing and run your own numbers before you buy.